Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, joined as always by Davey Eyeballs, aka Rick Rude Von Dick Dude. All hail the king of ginger ale. It's Ryan. Davey, how are you?
What a beaut today, huh?
Let's
start talking about the weather.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
for a podcast,
we've run out of things to talk about. Yeah,
is recorded and then people hear it days after.
What a real goddammer of a day, huh?
Heck of a day out there.
Yep.
Ryan, are you familiar with the term leap year?
I am.
That's what we got on our hands.
We got this on our hands. Can I tell you, as a child, there was a young woman who I grew up with in my neighborhood who was born on February 29th.
Yes. And
she tried to explain to 10 or 11-year-old me that she's technically only 4 years old or something.
Correct.
Because she's only had 4, or she was 3, because she'd only had 3 birthdays.
Yeah, we had a guy like that.
Blew my fucking mind. I had no idea. I was like, how is that possible? How is that possible?
If you had a kid that was born on February 29th,
yeah,
would you be like, listen, we're only going to have birthday parties every 4 years, but I promise you they're going to be monster birthday parties.
It's going to be an absolute blowout every time we have one.
She's like 6, and she's like, I really want, well, listen, when you're 8,
we're gonna we're gonna burn this mother down.
We're gonna blow the lid off this thing.
That would be actually a cool idea. So you pick a day. So it's either February 28th or March 1st. We'll do a cake. We'll do something small. But every time it's your actual birthday, we will go goddamn Looney Tunes.
Your birthday is now the Winter Olympics.
Exactly.
And we can only compete every 4 years. But we're gonna do opening and closing ceremonies.
But I tell you what, and we're going to do, it's skeleton luge. We are just, whatever the most hardcore fucking thing is, we're going to do it.
The best.
Yeah.
Because like when you look forward to that, especially if you're like a classmate, you're like, oh, it's a leap year.
This is it.
Fucking leap year.
Yeah. We're going to have like a Billy Madison party at the Davey house.
Yeah. But what sucks is they can't get a driver's license until they're like 60.
Yeah, which that stinks. You
don't want it. Fucking blows.
Yeah.
Blows out the water.
Yep.
I had something else I was going to tell you. I should have wrote it down. I don't have it.
Not important.
It must not have been. If I can't even think of it. Ryan, let's get to the news, shall we?
Let's hit it.
All right, Ryan, how about this? Better Call Saul is back for what they're saying is the penultimate season. It happens to be season 5. I'll tell you what I did. I did not watch the first episode yet because as we're recording, the second episode is airing.
Yes.
And then later this week, I'm just going to watch them back to back, and I'm looking forward to it.
I did watch the first episode.
Okay. Spoiler-free thoughts.
Spoiler-free thoughts. It's great. It's like, it just continues to be, like, this universe is the best written universe in television.
Yeah, hard to argue that.
Like, it is airtight. Like, everything they do is just airtight. And there is the first, so I'll tell you, this is not a spoiler, but the first 10 minutes until the first commercial break is all in black and white.
Oh boy.
And it's awesome.
I can't wait.
It's awesome.
And yeah, I try not to read too much into it, but there's definitely a lot out there that like it's really gonna lean into some Breaking Bad stuff, like characters and things like that. So I'm anticipating it.
Not gonna tell you anything, but like
okay. All right.
I want to so badly, but I'm not
I'm excited for that. Also out this week, and I know there's a lot of you out there that love this show. Me and Davey are playing a little bit of catch up on it, but that would be Star Wars: The Clone Wars, season 7, which they have announced is the final season. It began on Disney Plus, and like The Mandalorian, they're doing week by week.
Yep.
So this thing is going to go on for a little while, but I've gone back. A few of you guys have emailed us, dorkpodcast@gmail.com, with your favorite episodes. And this show, like, it's daunting to jump into it because there's so many.
It's a lot.
But the high points are real good. And I've been skipping around, and maybe that's not the best way. And like eventually maybe I'll go back and, now that's on Disney Plus, I'll, click through a lot of it. But the episodes that I have seen, like the ones that I've either read like online as like the essential episodes or the ones that people have emailed us, like are all fucking really, really good.
And it's cool because like in 6 seasons, there's like different arcs.
Yeah.
So there's like different storylines that you can kind of, and some aren't important and some are. Like that's one of the coolest things. And again, I'm far behind on this, but I'm really enjoying catching up, and I'm really enjoying people like reaching and telling us, kind of giving us a heads up, like cliff notes.
And it's like nice characters that and then it's also brand new characters, and it's a good mismatch between the two. And then just like cool things like They do stuff with the Mandalore, and now you're sitting there watching it and you're like, all right, is the Mandalorian already take from this? Like, what are they going to do going forward with some of those stuff? They did a whole like arc with like younglings and like them creating their lightsabers, which we kind of talked about during Rise of Skywalker.
Kyber crystals.
Yeah, it's just cool. I mean, I enjoy it. What's funny though is you could make a pretty solid case that Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, is the worst Star Wars movie ever made.
Yes,
and the time between that and Revenge of the Sith in Star Wars land is 3 years. And
not a lot of time.
They packed 7 seasons of chaos into. So, and I know what I'm gonna keep shotgunning all these episodes, and I know what's already gonna let me down is I'm gonna watch Episode 3 again, and there's gonna be like 0 reference to anything that happened. Like clearly, I remember there was one throwaway line at the beginning of Episode 3, and I remember this from like when I watched it, and Obi-Wan and Anakin are arguing over how many times Anakin saved Obi-Wan's life.
Yes.
And so like you can kind of use that and like put that shit in the show, I guess. But for the most part, it's like, I mean, there's whole characters that they're just going to ignore.
Right.
Anyway. Right, some other TV news. Ozark Season 3 has a release date, and that's coming up March 27th.
Is this the final season for that?
Probably should be. I don't know.
It should be. It's funny. I have like 2 episodes left in Season 2, and I just haven't watched them.
Just sitting there in the continue watching?
Yeah, like it started driving me nuts. Like it just started, like there was something about it that just really pissed me off, and I can't remember what it was.
It's not a perfect show.
No.
But I like Jason Bateman. I like the Megan Ferguson lookalike.
Yeah, and I think it was Laura Linney's character that just like you just kept fucking up. Like you just kept fucking up. You just kept fucking it up. Like I just stop.
Every time I see her, I think of was it Mystic River, where she was like with Sean Penn? Wasn't that her?
She was what's her name? Wasn't she Tim Robbins' wife? No, she was Sean Penn's wife.
She was Sean Penn's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that whole like monologue she does, like your daddy's a lion. That was awesome. That was awesome.
And then I think she might have done something to him after.
Oh yeah.
I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
Ryan, how about this? How about us here on #Dork once again predicting the future?
We did.
We've done it a few times. We've broken many stories over our time here at the podcast.
We are the Simpsons of podcasting.
That's right. And there's an episode for everything. And last week we were talking about PAX East, which is a defunct video game convention.
Yeah, they've completely gone out of business.
They've gone out of business and they don't do them anymore. And last week I said, and I was sort of more of like a PSA, I go, you probably don't want to go because there's going to be a lot of the coronavirus there.
Yep.
The next day,
Sony
pulled out of PAX East
because
coronavirus.
They were nervous about it. Dork predicted it. Not to say I would say we didn't necessarily predict it as we willed it into existence.
I was going to say, I read the headline. I had to look at it twice. I'm like,
yeah,
come on.
Like someone heard it, like, yeah, it's just. And so we have that. We have the Ben Affleck news.
Yep.
We have the Gambit movie news.
Yep.
We have, what else do we got? What else did we predict?
So many things.
Those are just 3 of them. Those just happen to be the 3
to mind.
Yeah.
But I mean, so many times that we called it, as they say in the business.
Dorkstradamus.
Every week
Boom.
we just sort of guess.
Boom. And sometimes we hit, sometimes we miss.
Yep. Mostly hits. All hits. Hey, let me ask you, the Batman is coming out in 2021. Is Ben Affleck playing Batman?
No. No, he's done with that.
Remember when people on Twitter called us clickbait?
And that we were Marvel fanboy DC haters. Remember that?
I do remember that, yeah. I have all of those messages tattooed on my back.
I loved you went on a week bender of like calling people out for that. It was awesome.
Yeah. It was
awesome.
It was like, so
good. How often do we get to be like, ha, like,
right? It's the best.
You know,
it's really
great.
It's why you get up in the morning.
It's why I get up in the morning is to like go on like Twitter and interact with trolls.
Find Twitter,
and they know you're right.
Who years ago said
you ain't shit, and you're like, oh really?
I'm like, listen, I hate to just put it so bluntly, but there's a video of me talking to Casey Affleck in person, and he said, no, he's not doing that movie.
Yeah.
I'm not like
here it is. Yeah, I'm not making that up. Here it is.
That was great. That was one of the highlights in the history of the podcast. That was good.
Mm-hmm. That was great.
Anything else here, Ryan? Anything else?
No.
All right,
Speaking of great, though,
let's get to your news. Go ahead.
So speaking of great, I actually have a good video game minute this minute.
Ryan, don't sell yourself short. They're all good.
Okay, so I have the news that you put out on Twitter. Spawn is now coming to Mortal Kombat 11. Now I was in a little bit with the Joker.
Yeah, you're all the way in
with all the horror characters. Now
Mm-hmm.
I might have to pick up Mortal Kombat 11 just because I love Spawn.
Spawn's
That's
badass.
great. I can't wait to see what his fatalities are. I'm sure they're going to be awesome.
Oh my god, I bet they involve chains.
I bet they do. Or a cape. The cape, like he has like that Doctor Strange like cape that like
yes, he does.
fights for him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's way more badass.
Much more.
There is a Streets of Rage 4 coming out.
Okay.
And it's 4-player and it's multiplayer. So you can actually play it. We can actually play. And I don't know why more side-scrolling brawlers don't do this, where you have like, why that game genre isn't more prolific. I love brawlers.
Oh my
especially
god!
Like the old Streets of Rage, and what's the other one that would? What
was great was in Nintendo. I remember playing Double Dragon 2 with my dad, and we would just fucking walk right down the map, right to the right, just beating the shit out of guys, throwing pipes at them.
What's the other one? Final Fight was Capcom's big one.
Okay,
and then they had Captain Commando, which Capcom, and they had some great, Ninja Turtles.
Right, it's
a Simpsons game.
It's a great genre.
It's a great genre of games, and this one is. X-Men's a great one. They had a great song on that one too. So that's coming out soon. There is a One Punch Man game, fighting game coming out this week.
Come on,
now which sounds lame, but
it does. It sounds like Superman.
It's not, because here's the thing. So there are all these characters and all these superheroes in the game that so basically think of like, remember Tekken Tag where you had like 2 characters, or like Marvel versus Capcom where you have 3.
Tekken Tag.
Right.
Ryan, please.
So you pick 3 characters.
Okay.
Right. Out of the game. So it's 6-on-6 technically.
Okay.
If you pick Saitama, who is One Punch Man, he doesn't show up on your team until 120 seconds into the match.
Okay.
So you're basically fighting 3-on-2 until he shows up.
2 minutes.
But when he does show up,
he just knocks everybody out.
Yeah, he just beats the shit out. So I guess the mechanic is like, for a good player, like that's a serious disadvantage.
Yeah.
But you have to like hang on with because if you lose a character, that's a huge deal.
So what if you just like block for 2 minutes?
You have to. So, and there's things like a mechanic in the game. If you block at the perfect time, so it's 120 seconds, but if you block at a perfect time or get a combo over 10, it like knocks 5 seconds off.
Oh my god.
Okay. So you have to like fight well and like in order to get him there quicker. But once he shows up, but the developers were like, it's great for like just the casual player, but if you're an actual like real fighting game player, like it's gonna suck that you have to like fight 3-on-2.
Yeah.
And like the Marvel versus, I think the characters can like team up on you too.
Yeah, I think there was like tag team moves, like the Party Crasher or the Party Foul.
Exactly. So speaking of that, so there is a wrestling game, Richard.
Yes.
Which is called Retromania Wrestling, which is coming out for Switch and for PC. The pre-orders are out, and I will show you. I can give you a little hit at the roster for this. They haven't released everybody yet.
Okay, it's called Retro Wrestling.
Retromania Wrestling.
Retromania Wrestling.
Hawk and Animal from the Legion of Doom.
Okay.
Austin Idol.
Nope.
The Blue Meanie.
I do like the Blue Meanie. Now, will he be in his Job Squad t-shirt?
It says something else. It's not the Job Squad t-shirt, but it says like BW. It said like Blue World Order or something.
Oh yeah, like BWO.
BWO.
Yeah, BWO is not bad. I like Blue Meanie.
Hollywood Nova.
I don't know what that is.
I think it looks like Scott Steiner. So some of these guys, like they don't.
Okay.
Tommy Dreamer.
Right. Respect Tommy Dreamer.
And a bunch of other people who aren't yet. They haven't released the whole roster yet.
Yeah,
but it looks like the old WrestleMania game, like the arcade game.
That's a terrible roster.
Let's
be honest. That's awful.
They got a guy who looks like Al Snow.
Is it Al Snow?
It looks like Al Snow.
No, I don't want an Al Snow lookalike and Austin Hollywood or whatever you said.
Big Stevie Cool.
Stop. We can only. What are you guys doing? Oh, we're doing Blue Meanie versus the guy who looks like Al Snow again.
Jeff Cobb.
Stop it, Ryan. You're not gonna buy this game.
I'm not gonna buy this game.
Jeff Cobb.
It looks cool.
Nobody would buy this.
Warhorse.
Do they have fucking Tyson and McParty, the Party Boys?
Fucking they better if they want
should
this
put
game to
them
get off the ground. I will tell you this though. Speaking of getting off the ground here, there's this guy. I've been following this story because I'm fascinated by this.
Okay.
A professional FIFA player whose name is Kurt something. He's like Kurt 0411 or something.
Kurt
like that.
Wagner.
Kurt Wagner, right?
Yes.
He did this thing. He's been motherfucking EA the entire time he's been on stream. And saying like the games, he's a professional. He gets paid to play FIFA, and yet constantly
shits on the game.
Shits on EA, like constantly.
I mean,
so much so in his last stream, and they said this is the thing that got him banned. He had like all of these. They're like soccer, like those soccer scarves.
Yeah,
but they're EA soccer scarves, and he started spitting on the logo.
What's wrong with this guy?
On the scarf? EA has now banned him from all of their games.
Ridiculous.
He cannot play EA games anymore.
But wasn't he getting paid by EA?
He was getting paid like by spot to like play FIFA. Like his livelihood was playing FIFA. And now they're like, oh, not only can you not play FIFA, you can't play anything we make.
Ridiculous.
How hard is that to do? Like how big of a dick?
Ridiculous.
How big of a dick do you have to be for a game company the size of EA to be like, you can't play any of our games?
Yeah, like we don't want you.
You want to play Fallen Order? Nope.
Can't have it.
You want to play Madden?
Like, yeah, I do.
Nope. Can't do that. You want to play, they have a baseball game coming out soon.
I'd be like, actually, I just want to play the college football game. You guys going to make that?
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, we're going to make it, but nope.
We're going to make it now. Now that we know that you want to play it.
Now that we know you want to play it. I think MVP Baseball is coming back.
Dude, when you mentioned the wrestling game, though, I was thinking about how much we played WrestleMania 2000.
Oh,
so
I'll still play it right now. If you had it right now, I'd play it.
We probably told this story on the podcast before, but if you're just joining us, my sophomore year, your junior year, our dorm. So we went to a boarding school.
Sure did.
We're both wicked smart,
smart and talented and rich.
Yes. Which everybody assumes because we went to St. Paul's. Everybody assumes I was a spoiled rich.
It was
kid.
made very clear to us that we were not rich.
We were not on the turbo team there.
No, we were not. We did not run.
But so what we did do though, Ryan, we didn't.
But isn't it lovely though that the two full scholarship kids just found each other in me and you? The two schmoes that found it like tripped and fell and like wound up at that school.
Like, oh, you guys are from New Hampshire? Like we even let kids in from New Hampshire? Like, yeah. Anyway, so we had in the dorm, somebody had the N64, and we played more WrestleMania 2000. And the best part was everybody had to create a character. Everybody created their own character, and that was back when you could create belts, you could create pay-per-views, you could do run-ins. And so my character was named Tyson Party. Davey was Mick Party, and we of course were the Party Boys. And obviously like a Hardy Boys ripoff, but we were the Party Boys. So we had the Party Favor, the Party Crasher, the Party Foul. Those were all our tag team.
The Party Crasher was just the 3D, like the Dudley Boys 3D. Like that was all it was.
But what was also sick was if one of us had a singles match, the other person was at ringside.
Yep.
And so our good friend Shark, my best buddy, so he created a separate character. So he had like a character that he used at home, which I'll get to in a second. So, because he had the game at home or whatever, but then on this system, he came up with a character named Jackknife, whose finishing move was the Jackknife powerbomb.
Yeah, yes.
And so one time, it was supposed to be a 1-on-1 match, and it ended up being 2-on-1, and we just beat the shit out of Jackknife for like an hour. We're like laughing, we're doing double team
the best
moves.
part was Shark's like, Davey, don't fucking jump in. Don't jump in. I'm like, I won't. Like we had like the third controller like in my lap. He's like, don't touch it.
Oh my god. And you jump in, and Davey's fucking creative character had a choke slam as one of his like simple moves. It was like a basic like basic
A move.
It was like over A, and it was a choke slam. So anyway, so Shark was getting pissed. We beat the shit out of Jackknife, and like we moved on. And then he's like, well, let's run it back again, but let me use my other guy. I'm like, what's your other guy? He brings up this fucking guy. Red Wolf?
Oh no, Night Wolf.
He goes, so not only, I mean, I understand it was like you had to be their thing, but so Night Wolf comes in, and as you can imagine, he's a really badass looking dude. He had a finishing move which I had not seen yet in the game.
No.
It was literally him just kicking the shit out of you. It's like a 30 kick combo, and it looks so dangerous.
You are basically on all fours, and he's just circling around you, kicking you about the face, chest, neck, and head.
He
just
somehow
beating the hell out of you.
He pulled it off somehow where he did that move to both of us, and we were just like, what is this? We're like, no more Night Wolf or Red Wolf or whatever the fuck it was. You're done with Red Wolf.
He's like, why not?
Couldn't play with him.
He
The party
showed
boys,
us.
the party boys were dangerous too. That game was so fun. Holy shit, was that fun?
That was a fun game.
We had one kid who would play, and his character was named Yeti, and he was just he had like the Tarzan shorts and nothing else. He was barefoot. He had nothing on his arms. He had nothing. And I still remember us doing like Royal Rumble, and we're all in the room because it's like you got to grab the controller if your guy comes in. And the fucking Yeti comes screaming down the aisle. And it just gets like immediately like he was horrible at the game too. Gets immediately tossed out. It's like, oh, here comes the Yeti. I think about that once a week.
Once a week, I just sit back and I smile. I just have a good laugh about the
kid
Yeti.
Was like, he was like a good sport about it, but he was like halfway competitive, but then like never won a match. And he's
like he wanted to be good, but he didn't want to put in the effort.
No, he didn't.
Because then it's lame. Because then it's lame, you know. So
here comes the Yeti. Oh my god. And I could still see it in my mind, like the N64 graphics of him running,
like the big aggressive arm swing, running
down the ramp, and like the little tag at the bottom is Yeti, and he's got no clothes, basically.
Zero clothes. He looked like Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Dude, but that game was so good, and then it kept track of like who won the belt, like the belt history.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, was that
fun. I remember all I wanted was the hardcore belt. I didn't want any other belts. I just wanted the hardcore belt.
I think I was a big Intercontinental guy, and then we had the tag. We had the tag belts like the whole time. I think
no one could touch us on the tag belts.
Guys would get pissed. I mean, Red Wolf single-handedly could beat us.
Red Wolf beat us by himself.
He just beat the shit out of us.
And like there was a thing in the game too, but you could just knock someone out. Like it wasn't.
Oh yeah. Oh, he'd TKO you with that.
Yeah.
I don't know where he found that move because all of the other finishing moves were like somebody's finishing move, like power bomb, Stone Cold Stunner, rock bottom. His was just kick the piss out of you like he's in John Wick or something.
Yeah, he just literally just started kicking. Someone like YouTube it.
Oh,
he just started kicking you, and it was the most violent thing I've ever seen. Like he beat us to death. Like that's what he did. That was a special move. It's like I'm gonna beat someone to death.
It was literally it was WrestleMania 2000 and Tekken 3. We spent more hours than any other game combined.
Yes, true.
What a blast!
What a long video game minute this has been. By the way, I love WrestleMania 2. I could talk about WrestleMania 2000 till cows.
It was a trip down memory lane, right?
That was fun.
That's when people tune in. They're like, "Oh, do you guys have like a random high school story that we can't relate to?" I'd love to hear it.
Oh, bullshit. Everyone can relate to that.
No, that's true. That's true. Everybody has friends, right? You got friends?
You got friends? Oh, like having friends? That's a John Mulaney.
But honestly, like maybe the best part of being in a dorm when you're like 15 years old was the ability to like have that many people take part. Because if you played that game at home,
because there's no online playing, so we just had to like figure it out.
So like you'd have like a buddy come over and then that'd be it. But we had I don't like we must have 10 different people play that game.
And when I describe our dorm room to people, they think I'm lying. We had 3 couches. In our room, which is like, we had 2 separate rooms. We put our desks and our beds in one room.
Right.
We had a walk-in closet.
Yep.
And an entire other room, which we fit 2 3-seater couches and a love seat.
Right.
Which is insane.
And then by the end of that, what do we have? PS1 or 2?
2. We had 2 at that point.
I think that was N64 and PlayStation 2.
Year.
Yeah.
We were the shit.
Oh, we killed it.
We got hosed out of best dorm room on campus my senior year too.
Oh yeah, that was a thing, right?
Yep.
What would we have gotten? Like a pizza party?
Yeah, no, yeah, we would have gotten like something, dinner or something.
Something nice.
That's a big deal back then.
Huge deal. I would have taken a smoothie and an egg sandwich.
Exactly.
Ryan, you got anything else in the video game minute?
No, I got more. That's more than I bargained for.
Ryan, you ready for the topic du jour?
WrestleMania 2000 talk.
We actually
this week
might be. Let's call an audible right now and do that because that is probably more enjoyable.
Yep.
But I'm glad you asked, and it is the. This is essentially going to be a peek behind the curtain.
Sure.
Because this is an old-fashioned pitch meeting for what will be the 5th annual #Dork Madness. So those of you that have been following along on the podcast, specifically the Twitter at Dork Podcast, we have done the classic 64 field tournament the last 4 years to crown the best in a certain category. The first year was what was the best comic book movie, and it ended up being The Dark Knight. Now, this was pre-Infinity War, pre-Endgame, pre-Spider-Verse.
Logan was second, right?
Was Logan, or this might have been pre-Logan.
Yeah, we might have to do this one again.
This one we could definitely do over.
I think give it a couple years and we'll do it again.
I think The Dark Knight was in the mix with like the first Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe Deadpool, like the people liked.
Yep.
But yeah, this might have been pre-Logan. The second year we did best comic book character, and that was just Marvel and DC, and Batman won.
Yes.
The third year was best television show, and I was surprised, well, pleasantly surprised, but Seinfeld won.
I was pushing for Breaking Bad, as you know,
which I think that was in the finals. It was Seinfeld over Breaking Bad in the finals. And if you remember, I think we did the regions that year were like sitcom, HBO, Netflix, and like
drama, or like
cable. Just regular drama, I think.
Yeah.
But that was a fun one. That was a good one. I had no idea what was going to win. And last year was best video game.
Fucking abortion of
Mario Kart 64 won, which I recognize as the best video game of all time.
And listen, I'm glad if you're not you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here and listening to this podcast, and I'm glad that you choose to spend your weeks with us on a weekly basis. You invite us into your ears and you listen to this. That being said,
oh no,
I could not be more disappointed in our audience than to pick that as the best video game of all time.
All time.
Awful.
What about?
I'm over it. I'm over it.
I thought it was a good game.
I'm over it. Yeah, that was good. Is it great?
Okay. Well, I don't know if it's great.
I don't want to talk. All
right, I'm sorry that you got upset about it. What would you have picked for best video game of all time?
Anything else?
Well, that's ridiculous. That wasn't an option. You can't give me one pick.
I could give you several picks.
If you say Kid Icarus, I'm going to slap you.
Kid Icarus is terrible. Let's see.
The Last of Us. Yeah, that's a good
Mega Man 2.
That's what I thought. That's what I wanted.
Super Mario Brothers 3.
The one thing I'll say about the last 2 years, they've been better because you don't know who's going to win.
Right.
And obviously there are going to be some first round matchups that are lopsided, but not as bad as best comic book movie. Like the best comic book movie, it was like the first round, you just wanted to fast forward because it was all favorites that won. It was
like there were some that were like shouldn't have been there. Like Hulk.
So my goal is I want it to be more competitive. I think the first thing you want to do is no obvious winner, because what's the point of doing it if there's an obvious winner?
It has there's like subjectivity to it too. Like it has to be like not a clear win. Like The Dark Knight at the time was probably the clear winner.
It was probably going to win, but I was also curious to see like. I forget off the top of my head, but there was a couple that went on like a run, like ones that we seeded, like
Spider-Man 2
lower
run.
Yeah,
Guardians
was. I knew that was going to do well. Batman Begins was probably pretty far.
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool,
like X2,
I think it was the year of Deadpool, so Deadpool that was like on top of everybody's mind.
So you need some there needs to be some debate here.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for.
I think that's what we're looking for. And when I was coming up with my list of things we could do, there needs to be a little hot button.
There needs to be hot button.
It's good when people bitch about the seedings. Like, how the fuck is this a 13? You know what
right
I mean?
away, when the bracket comes out, and it'll come out probably like March 1st or whatever, people look for snubs and they get pissed, and then they don't like the seeding. And you're like, great. We've done our job.
We've done our job.
Angry, and now let's put it to a vote.
Yep.
And so,
in some cases, people are still angry.
People are. I've heard of one recently.
Yeah,
that's still pissed. But so again, you've seen sort of the theme. So we did TV show, we did video game, we did comic book movie. Which you're right. If we're still doing this in a couple of years, we should probably update it because there's been so many new good ones. Best comic book character. That was kind of could have been better.
Could have been better. Yep, not our best.
So each of us have come up with 5 ideas, and here's the deal. I don't know what we're going to pick yet. We're going to sort of shop it around. we're not going to do the entire field, but we're at least going to determine what we're doing and sort of who should be mentioned in there. So let's just go back and forth between certain ideas. So again, the criteria is you need to be able to get at least 64 of them.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be not a slam dunk winner, like an obvious winner. And for me too, like not only should it be 64, but I really want to get away from like the useless first round where things
Right.
are winning like 99% to 1%. Like
Right.
that's kind of a waste of everybody's time. So without further ado here, Ryan, what is your first pitch?
My first pitch, and being me, this is a Ryan Davey pick for my first bracket.
Okay.
The best albums of the 90s.
Wow.
Now, 90s, for all of our list, those are people who you were alive in the 90s, we're assuming.
I was.
Most of you. And it's something that we could break. Why I like this too is you can break it. You can have your different regions. So you could have like alternative.
Yep.
You could have rock. You could have hip hop. You could have electronic music. Like all of those things in the 90s. And you could actually have different regions and winners come out of those different regions.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful time for music.
Yes.
Arguably 1993 is the greatest year in hip hop ever.
Maybe. You
had Ready to Die.
Yep.
Illmatic. 36 Chambers. And something else.
Was the Chronic?
Chronic.
Yeah.
All the same year.
Mm.
So like that's kind of money.
Yep, that is pretty money.
So if we did that, big music fans out there, that's my first pitch.
That is a good one. All right, Ryan. It's funny. I did not know we were going to spend 10 minutes talking about WrestleMania 2000.
Yeah.
But honestly, one of mine's on the list was best wrestlers of all time.
You said you didn't want any clear winners.
So I don't know if you would get that. So
I think you would.
Okay. Clear. The Rock?
It's Becky Lynch.
Oh.
The man.
I don't
know if we've talked about this on the podcast. I'm a very big fan of Becky Lynch.
You like Becky Lynch?
I do a lot, like more than I should.
Okay, well, just keep your pants on.
That'll come up later. Go ahead.
Yes, it will. But I think this would be a fun one, and we do wrestling like once in a blue moon. It's in the dork wheel. It's in the dork realm, and I have a feeling like The Rock, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, like guys, Macho Man. But like, I don't know who would win necessarily, and that'd be an easy 60. You could easily come up with 64 guys.
Easily come up with 64, and again, you could do it by decade.
You could do decade for sure. Like even right now, there's a lot of good ones, and like especially the influx of all the really good female wrestlers recently. Like not just Becky Lynch, but like you'd have a pretty competitive field. Like obviously, The Rock and Stone Cold would win a ton, but like Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, like it's John Cena. People
Mick
love
Foley.
I
love Mick Foley.
Party Boys. I'd put them on there. Red Wolf or Night Wolf.
Yeah, I mean that would be good, and that's something like older wrestling stuff. Like I 80s and 90s wrestling. I was a huge. Remember, my dad used to work for the WWF, and we used to get. So it was awesome. Another wrestling story. Rich and I used to get all the pay-per-views, and my dad would come up on weekends, and he would give us, or he'd come up on Wednesday, and by Wednesday, he had on VHS whatever Raw or pay-per-view happened that weekend. He would just hand us the tapes.
We get the tapes. Watch the stuff. That's great.
Yep, it was great. So
yeah, what do you got? What's your next one?
How about this one? Best stand-up comedians of all time.
Oh boy, that is good. So you would just say comedian, right? Not just special.
Just stand-up comedians of all time.
Yeah, that's good.
Anyone who has had, they would have. Their prerequisite is they would have had to have had like a televised comedy special.
I like that one. Best stand-up comics of all time.
So you would have that's not clear because comedy is very subjective. People think
probably Cosby.
He's got to be in the fucking fucked up.
We got to put him in there.
He has to be in there. He has to be.
I almost don't want to do it just because of that.
I almost don't want to do it, but like so does Louis C.K.
I would probably say Chappelle.
I would Carlin.
Yep.
Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy,
Mulaney.
Mulaney's
so good.
Amy Schumer.
Yep.
She's got to be in the list. She's got to be.
Amy Schumer. People love Amy Schumer.
people.
Where
love
would you
Dame
put
Shane.
Paula Poundstone?
I mean, she's got to be like a 15.
Yeah, probably 15 seed, you think, or 15th
Who else?
overall?
We got to put your guy, Carlos Mencia.
Yeah, I love him.
You love him.
Bobcat Goldthwait does the voices.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's like kind of startled a lot.
But like Robin Williams.
Yeah, he's got hairy knuckles.
He's so hairy. But like, think about it. I mean,
hands.
that's something you could sink your teeth into, and that's something that I think people would be pissed if someone got snubbed. Like, I think if
Dane Cook, dude,
like
Dane
most
Cook,
successful,
people hate Dane Cook, but do they hate Dane Cook?
No,
Oh,
I think
I was blown away by this. This is a little detour here.
Yeah.
So you know that WAAF went off the air.
It's a shame.
Which is really too bad. And I tweeted about it, but like growing up and Dave, we both grew up in like the same, roughly the same area. And so we could listen to AAF and BCN. And it was just, it was the music that we liked, but also the personalities were really good on both stations.
Sure.
And so they're both gone and it's too bad.
Pick of the pod.
But yeah, absolutely. You know what? Pick of the pod, WAAF. Yeah. And so I noticed that Dane Cook tweeted about it. And he had like a nice little anecdote, like, sorry to see it go. Like, shout out to Mr. Scary. And
Jesus, Mistress Carey was on. We were kids, and she's
great.
She was great.
I talked to her today. She was in the building today.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know how. I'm like, you did such a great job the last couple of days because she was on like nonstop.
Yeah.
Closing it down, telling stories. And it was really cool.
That's a nice little name drop you had right there, too.
Yeah, no big deal. If you want to pick that up, go ahead. Yeah. It's fine. Give the podcast a little more clout.
Yeah, exactly.
So he tweeted about like, and then another little thing about how like, oh, when I used to deliver pizzas to them and they actually put me on the air for the first time as like so-and-so the pizza guy. So whatever, cool little story. But my point of the story is I looked at it. He has on Twitter 3 million followers.
That's crazy.
I scroll through his tweets. He gets like 6 retweets, 12 likes. That doesn't make sense.
So you think they're like bots?
I think a lot of them have to be bots because like the Dork podcast, we get more like interaction and we have like 2,000 followers. He has 3 million. You would think if you had 3 million followers and they actually followed you and actually read the account, just like accidentally, you would get like 1,000 retweets. I bet.
I would love if we could swing it to get Mistress Carey on the podcast just so I can talk music with her. That would be the best thing in the world.
All right, I could try.
I would go banana. I would ask her so many questions about everything.
Okay,
but just food for thought. But
okay,
back to the action. Best comedians of all time.
I like that one. That's a good one. So early lean, best albums of the 90s, best wrestlers, best comedians.
Mm-hmm.
It's early.
But
I'm already leaning comedians. Out of those,
comedy is a big part. Comedy is a big part of it. I'm not done yet.
I'm not done either. I got a few more.
Mm-hmm. What do you got?
So here's one which I think could be really good, but I also think it could just be a standalone episode. And dare I even say, this might be a little tease, a potential live show in the future. And that would be best TV characters of all time. There's a lot to unpack there. And I think figuring out the field would be very difficult, but you would have really competitive first-round matchups.
You would have very competitive first-round matchups. And I would say if it's going to be a live show, I demand that everybody in the place takes a shot every time Goo mentions Alf.
See, I'm with him on Alf. Alf deserves a lot of credit. He would also mention, like, Boy Meets World characters.
Oh my god! Anytime he mentioned Boy Meets World, we just fucking throw. His list of TV characters would just be the cast of Boy Meets World.
But what do you think of that one though? Best TV characters.
That's very broad. Like that's like
it is broad. And here's the thing. Here'd be my question on that: is could you do more than one character from a show?
I don't think so. I don't think you wouldn't have time. Like if we did that, like
so, like because like Walter White and Jesse Pinkman should probably be on there.
But you can only it's like, but if I was lame, I would be like, well, you can't have just one of the characters from Friends. I hate Friends, but like
I'm not putting any of Friends on.
But you can't have Chandler without Joey. You know what I mean? Like
that, I'm not having any of them.
Then you start spiraling like that. You start, like who's the best Saturday Night Live character?
Nah, I would put that to the side. It's a different kind of show.
Different kind of show.
I would include them because they like play characters and stuff.
All right.
I would say it would have to be like a I mean, I guess that's scripted too, but you know what I mean. Not like a show like that.
But it would have to. So what would the thing be? Like you have to like
Best TV characters.
no, but like you putting together a team. Like who are we doing this versus? Like who are you putting?
Okay.
Like what? Like
So two things. One, if we did it for the bracket, it would just be a bracket,
okay,
and we'd crown one winner.
well that I get.
If we
But
did
how
it for a live show, my thought process was we have all the people that are up there on the dais,
Yep.
and we do
dais, nice.
similar to this. We sort of pitch people,
Mhm.
and then what we're going to do is we're going to induct into the hashtag Dork Hall of Fame.
We haven't done
10
that in a
best-
while. We have
No,
to
I
do
know.
another Dork Hall of Fame. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. We'll do the 10 best TV characters. And what it'll be is depending on how many of us are on there, like you need to get almost a unanimous vote, and then you're in, and we'll crown like 10.
Okay.
But we'll pitch a bunch of different guys. So like each person will show up with like 10 people that they want in,
Mhm.
but then you have to sort of like sell it and see how many people agree with you and stuff like that. So that might actually be better for a whole episode rather than a bracket.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
All right.
All
What's
right.
your next idea?
Best arcade games of all time. Now, this is very much my thing, but like it needs to be something that you would have had to travel to play, and it would have had to existed in a cabinet. So you can't do any ports. So you
Okay.
can't say like
So
Super Mario Brothers.
I know.
There is a stand-up arcade, but like that's not
And I know there's a million of them, but
Mhm.
I, right off the top of my head, I think would have a difficult time coming up with 64.
I would not.
Okay.
Now you have Donkey Kong.
Are you going to
get
name
the-
them all right now?
No, I'm just saying that like there are a lot of them that started as arcade games that you would not like. Obviously, you wouldn't think like Street Fighter 2. Like that was an arcade game,
Right. What seed would Qbert be?
Cubert's. So again, I mean, then you have to break it. I like the idea of breaking it into regions. So you have what you would consider to be like classic arcade games.
Classics.
Then you have fighting games,
Okay.
racing games. And then you have what did I say? So
Classic, racing, fighting,
and then it would have to be like
sports? No, not sports.
or like multiplayer. So
Yeah.
we could do a round of like 4-stick games.
But
Like
is Time Crisis an arcade game?
Yes.
Like those type of game? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. So I got
You could do like shooting games, like
Yeah,
Time
yeah.
Crisis.
I gotcha.
What was the horror one? I can't think of it right now.
We'd
It
have
was
to
like
do
Time-
that. We'd have to do that episode like at Fun Spot.
Yeah, why haven't we done a live show?
I don't know. I'm surprised they haven't reached out to us.
Oh my god,
Seems like a miss on their end.
Seems like a nice weekend too. We could go up to the lake,
Oh my
bring the
god.
families.
Forget about it.
make a thing of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's reach out to them.
Maybe
I love Fun Spot. Fun Spot.
it's the most fun.
It is the most fun.
Ryan, how about this one? This
Mhm.
this might be better reserved for hashtag Dorktober.
Mm-hmm.
Best horror movie of all time.
We haven't done that yet.
Not a bracket.
I'm surprised we haven't done that.
You don't like the
However-
idea.
No, I like the idea,
like the idea.
but I think that could be a Dorktober thing.
Yeah, it's
Because
a little out of season.
Yeah, and the other thing too is like, what are we going to do for Dorktober this year?
I think we'll just rip the lid off of it.
Just rip the lid off of it.
I don't know. Probably have really entertaining episodes, would be my guess.
Well, yeah, I think all going to be horror related.
Yeah. Something
We could-
spooky, I think, this year.
What if
What if we told ghost stories?
That would be something.
Come up with your own ghost story.
You joke. I don't think that's a terrible idea.
It's not a terrible idea.
And we
My
read them
punchline
in
would
such a
always
way.
be, and there was a hook on the car.
The call was coming from inside the house.
Mine would all just be like rip-offs of other like urban legend. But yeah, let's write a spooky story.
I would love also to do an episode on the scary stories to tell in the dark books.
Oh boy. I don't remember. I gotta go back.
Exactly. And wouldn't that
Yeah.
be a trip down memory lane?
So now I gotta do a book report for the podcast.
It's not a book report. I mean,
It's supposed to be fun. The podcast is supposed to be fun.
Speaking of fun podcasts,
Yeah, what do you have?
would you like to hear my last pitch?
Yeah, you only have one more?
I got several more, but you said 5, so this.
Oh,
would be
you
my 5th
okay.
one.
All right.
No, I have 2 more.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
How about best video game sports player? Did we come up with 64?
Could we
For
come up with
instance,
64?
Bo Jackson in Tecmo Bowl.
Ken Griffey Jr. in Ken Griffey Jr.'s baseball.
Ken Griffey Jr. baseball. Who I hit like a 600-foot home run with.
I don't doubt it.
John Dowd, who was Barry Bonds technically.
Oh yeah.
Pedro Sanchez.
Yes.
Um,
Michael Vick.
Michael. Oh, was it
That-
7?
the whatever year he was on the cover.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Like when you have to play a game and the rule is no Michael Vicks. Like, come on.
Yeah. Wayne Gretzky and Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey.
Yep. Who's the other one?
Who in like
honestly, like fucking Larry Johnson and Alonzo
NBA Jam.
Mourning were ridiculous in NBA Jam.
Grandmama and NBA Jam.
They were like knocking down threes and like blocking every
And Duncan.
shot.
Yeah. So this is the thing. I don't know that there's 64 though.
No, that's a really good one for like 16.
Yeah. How about the Buccaneers and NFL Blitz?
Yeah,
Unstoppable.
It hurts you.
Yeah. That's what I got for that.
I
one.
like
What do you
that
think?
one, right?
You like
that
that
one's
one?
good. It's just limited.
Yeah, I don't know if that's my favorite, but
What about this one? Movies since 2000. So we did an episode on best movies of the decade.
do you think that's going to be a little comic book heavy?
Could be.
Or do we just eliminate comic book movies entirely?
Oh boy. No, not for our audience. If you take away comic books, you're taking away their air to breathe.
Ah,
You just think Endgame and Infinity War would win?
no,
Oh,
I don't think so. But
What do you think would win? So since 2000?
the best movie I've seen since 2000, like
What year did
I don't
Scream
know.
4 come out?
you're gonna get. So I think like Shawshank, maybe
That was 1994.
was it?
So that does not qualify.
Am I out of my mind?
You're
Wow, I was
way
thinking
out
of
of your
Green Mile. Is Green Mile over 2000?
Green Mile, I want to say was 98 or 99.
The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight, 2004.
Let's see.
At least now you're in the right decade. Dude, Shawshank came out the same year as Pulp Fiction.
I'm no sorry. That was stupid.
I'll edit it out.
You have No Country for Old Men,
Oh, yeah, I like that movie.
Eternal Sunshine, The Departed, kid,
Oh, yeah, you got to see The Departed.
City of God,
The Departed, that's Whitey Bulger. Like, no,
Brokeback Mountain,
Mm-hmm.
Requiem for a Dream,
Oh, no, thank you.
Sideways, which I like.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Lame.
Wally,
Wall-E.
Almost Famous.
Ugh.
You don't like Almost Famous?
Not really.
Oh, you're a terrible person. The Wrestler.
Look up Short Circuit 2. I want to say that was the 80s, but just in case they did like a remastered.
Mad Max Fury Road.
Yep.
Pan's Labyrinth.
People love Inception.
They do.
I'm not one of those people.
Toy Story 3. I mean, you could go. The list
There's
goes on.
a lot of movies came out in the last 20 years.
Kill Bill, Hurt Locker.
But that's not my best idea. I have one more idea
Yeah.
left.
All right, you want my last one?
Yep.
How about a Steal a Smoochathon?
Oh my God. This is a little perverted, Ryan.
And you do it since we've been alive and where there's a cutoff.
Yeah.
So you go 80s, 90s, 2000s. Like so
I
we
want to
do it-
say, I think Mac and Goo did something similar, though.
I think they did too, but
I think
that's
they
not
did.
a bad. We could do it better.
Well, I don't doubt that. I
We
mean,
could
I have
do it
confidence in ourselves.
Like how many times was the Pink Ranger on their list? Like 8,
She was in every region, which made no sense.
which made no sense, and she was like 1 seed all the way through. That and was it Ski Lodge Laura or something like that?
Yeah,
They keep going on and
Lauren.
on about
Yeah,
fucking Topanga.
She ran unopposed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not how the brackets work.
Yeah.
I mean, Rebecca Gayhart's probably a 1 seed.
Jawbreaker.
You guys seen that?
You guys seen Jawbreaker? No, I haven't.
Who
I
would
have
be at the risk of sounding like barbarians?
Yeah.
Who would be your 1 seeds? Forget about regions.
What
Just-
year?
No, just 1 seeds. All time Steel Smooch, 1 seeds.
For me,
Yes,
Spanning
who else am I
decades.
talking to?
Jennifer
whatever you want.
Connelly, maybe?
Okay,
I love her so much.
no,
I do.
it's okay, Brian. It's okay. It's
Um,
okay.
Yeah. I remember the first time I
You're not gonna say Paula Poundstone, are you?
mean, she did wear multicolored vests.
True.
and oversized shirts underneath them. So that was you remember that fucked up dude? Didn't she like get nailed for like child abuse or something like
Oh
that.
God, I don't
There's
know
some
about
like
that.
fucked up story. No, there was like some like weird story.
I don't
Like
know
she
about
like
that.
adopted kids and like mistreated them.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was bad shit, man.
I don't like that.
I don't like it at all either. I just report the news. I don't,
How high on the list would you have Rhea Pearlman?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, just checking.
Whoa.
As long as we're on the same page.
Yeah, Paula Poundstone, an adoptive and foster parent who's been a fictional Santa Claus, pleaded no contest to one count of felony child abuse and misdemeanor charge of inflicting injury upon a child.
Forget it, dude. I don't like that story.
I don't like it. I'm just telling you. I'm not judging it. I'm just telling you what happened.
Rebecca Gayheart did kill someone with her car, but I don't think it was her fault. So
don't give me that. It wasn't her fault.
Well, it wasn't her fault.
She was being negligent.
I got Rebecca Gayheart. I would have Zoe Saldana, but probably specifically as Gamora.
If she's green, you don't like her any other.
No, I like her. I like her very much, but Jennifer Love Hewitt, and I guess Blake Lively. Yeah, that might be my 4-1 seeds. I think I'm probably forgetting somebody.
It would be a little bit in this era. I don't think it'll fly. It's a nice idea, not good in execution.
It's just
what if we had a not that there's anything wrong with that bracket.
What
for men,
dudes? Yeah, there should be.
There should
equal opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. Not that there's anything. And
if you could kiss any dude, who would it be all time? Present company excluded.
Tom Hardy.
Wow. You think he's a good kisser?
I think he make you feel dangerous, but also safe.
Yeah. Sure.
Who do you got?
Probably Norm from Cheers.
Oh, you know who else? Idris Elba.
Oh yeah, I'd kiss him.
Yeah, you would.
Sure.
I'm completely confident. That'd be great.
I have no problem.
No problem. What about Brad Pitt? You're a big Brad Pitt guy. Right?
I do like Brad Pitt. I don't know though.
No. Jared Leto?
What character is he playing? Anybody he wants.
Morbius. 30 Seconds to Mars, Jared Leto. Frontman sure. Jared Leto. Yeah.
Sure. Do you want my last idea?
Yes, please.
How about this? And this ties into what we're going to be talking about next week. What if we did Star Wars characters? Now, truth be told, the first round in this one might be a little bit kind of
slot. If you're putting like Han Solo against like fucking
Dexter Jettster
or who the fuck, what is that? I can't think right now.
Come on, Ryan, get your head out of your asshole.
Who is the fucking
I can't
Jabba's little rat?
Salacious B. Crumb.
Salacious B. Crumb. Thank you.
He'd get points. He'd get votes.
There's some asshole's gonna vote for him.
I like Salacious B. Crumb.
Yeah, but I think you like Salacious B. Crumb versus Babu Frick is an absolute slaughter.
Babu Frick's probably like a 1 or a 2 seed. People like Babu Frick.
We talked about this a little bit yesterday, and wouldn't it be cool to do like humanoid, alien, droid, puppet? Like, so you have like all those different brackets?
Yeah, you probably could do something like that, actually, if you get like 16 for each.
Yeah.
But I'm actually fascinated because
I don't think you have enough droids. That's the problem.
Who would be the best?
The best droid?
Right.
Who
would be the best anything?
Dio is my favorite droid now.
Dio has rocked for a long, long time. That's from Tenacious D.
It is. I meant though, like, no thank you.
Dio, yeah. K2SO is a great droid.
K2SO is a great droid. IG-11's a great droid.
BB-8's good.
BB-8's good.
R2-D2's going to get a lot of the nostalgia votes.
C-3PO sucks.
He'll get smoked.
Yeah.
He'll get absolutely smoked.
What a
IG-11? IG-11 from
the Mandalore. IG-11, yeah.
Oh, sorry, you said that. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized that my wireless mouse is out of batteries. So
out of juice?
This episode's just going to roll on forever.
Oh, we're going to do it forever. It's going to be
awesome. Shut it off. But I also, the reason why I want to do this is I don't know who would win.
I also don't know who would win because you have Boba Fett is going to get a lot of love, even though he doesn't deserve it. Probably the most overrated Star Wars character in the universe. Not a real Mandalorian.
Sean Gunn, James Gunn, I'm saying Darth Vader. But Luke Skywalker's very likable. Han Solo's very cool. Lando's cool. Yoda, Baby Yoda, Babu Frick, Darth Maul.
Leia.
Leia, Captain Phasma,
Padme Amidala.
Rose and Finn. I might put them together.
Oh, Rose is going to be a fucking 16 seed. She has to be.
Yep. Get her just right
Darth
out of there.
Maul.
Yep, I know. Like Poe Dameron was good. Like
I love Poe Dameron.
Kylo Ren. People love Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren's great.
Yeah, I heard Kylo Ren has an 8-pack. You see that when he was undercover boss?
It was so good.
Yeah.
But so yeah, like the first round would probably be lame though in that one, but the rest of it would be really good.
So could you actually do like good guys, bad guys?
Maybe. What do you like out of all those?
General Hux.
General Hux is a good one. That's 10 ideas, Ryan.
That's 10 ideas. Should we put it to the people? How do we do this?
I don't know. I think we just have to decide.
I don't think we can decide. Can we decide tonight? I don't think so.
Oh, or should we pick 4? Let's do our final 4 and then put a poll.
Final 4 and then, yep.
All right.
Okay.
So pick your 2 favorite on yours and I'll pick my 2 favorite on mine.
I think we've talked about it. I think comedians.
Yep.
And you want to go 90s albums or you want to go arcade games?
Oh, I could go either way. Fuck.
I'm calling it 90s albums. Boom.
Okay.
I called it.
90s albums.
Or
all right. Or out of my 5, let's take TV characters out of it because that could be a standalone episode.
Yes.
Let's take horror movies out of it because that could be in Dorktober.
Dorktober.
So I have Star Wars characters, wrestlers, movies since 2000.
I like Star Wars characters and wrestlers from you. That's my 2 cents.
All right. So there you go. We're going to put a poll up at Dork Podcast on Twitter.
And because I think we don't do enough wrestling, and this is a good way for me to get involved with wrestling.
Well, these are good too because we don't do like music. So 90s albums, wrestlers will be good. Comedians is fun. We did 1 episode on stand-up specials. You can check it out in the archives. And then Star Wars is good all the time. And I also feel like we've done so many comic book related things so far with this that it'll be good to get Star Wars.
It's be good to get away from it for a little bit.
So I like that a lot. So those will be the 4. We'll put that out. It'll be like a 2-day poll. And then from there, Ryan, once we find out the winner, you and I can put our heads together and come up with the field of 64.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm excited about it.
All right. What do you say? You want to get to your pick of the pod?
Pick of the pod.
All right. What do you have?
My kicking receive. Nope. What are we doing?
Stop. Wait. Hold on a second. Ryan, would you like to kick, receive, defer, or defend a goal?
I defer.
All right. I will receive. Man, what am I watching right now? I'll tell you what. Obviously, the next couple of episodes are going to be Star Wars: The Clone Wars and then The Outsider. So I've been watching all those a lot. Have you seen McMillions yet?
I have not.
Are you watching that?
I am not watching that.
So I think.
Is this the thing that people get screwed out of the Monopoly thing?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Well, here's the deal. So it's all about the Monopoly money at McDonald's, which we all remember growing up, and we're all obsessed with it.
I used to play it all. I was obsessed with that.
Of course. And then none of us won, and you didn't know anybody who won because the whole thing was rigged. And it's on HBO right now. It's a 6-episode documentary. I think episode 4 is airing like as we speak. So I've seen the first 3. The first one was a little slow. But stick with it because it really picks up from there, and it's ridiculous. And some of the footage they have from like past like quote winners and like it's good.
Didn't they make it up? Like people that said one didn't really win, something like that. I'm not. Don't tell me too much. I'm gonna.
Yeah. But basically, it's a sham, but it's a good documentary. It's on HBO, so go back and watch that on demand. So McMillions. Right.
I have 2 picks of the pods. One's a surprise.
Ooh.
I actually. You know what I started listening to at the gym because I'm going back to the gym. I'm very concerned about my health. Yeah.
Billie Eilish.
Close. I was listening to the Birds of Prey soundtrack.
Dude, good movie.
And you know that kick-ass jail scene when they're playing that like metal song?
Yeah.
And it's like a girl singer. You know who that is?
It's not Margot Robbie, is it?
That's Halsey.
Oh.
The best scene in that movie, so listen to the Birds of Prey soundtrack. That's one of my picks of the pod. And the
real
song,
quick before you say that, do you know? So Halsey, I know you mentioned recently, and I did watch that video. That was very good.
Was he just going to gloss over that?
Yeah,
it was very nice.
So Billie Eilish, though, your girl. Do you know what show she had a song in recently?
I know she just did the Bond song, which is actually really good.
Lock and Key.
She did.
Late in I think it was late. It was like episode like 8, 9, or 10. I think one of the songs that came on
Oh,
was
now that you
Billie
mention it,
Eilish.
yeah. Now that
I
you
was
mention
like,
it, I remember
is
that,
this
yeah.
her? Like,
Yep. So the song is called "Experiment on Me." Don't mind if I do. By Halsey. That's one of my, and it's like a metal. So you would actually like it. It's like your style of music.
I like a little.
Definitely check it
hard
out.
riffing.
It's hard riffing. It's a little new metal ish.
Okay, all right.
And she does like a good metal scream at the end. You'll like it.
Ooh, I like a metal scream.
And my other pick of the pod, Richard, is us.
Oh.
We were talking to a new friend yesterday, and he was actually. I was listening to what he was saying, and it's a person who has a very substantial. It's a big market tease, so you're going to find out in a couple and next week.
Oh, good idea. Yeah, keep that.
I'm going to keep that. But he was someone who has a very large footprint in social media, and he was talking to us about how we grow the podcast and how like different things we could do. And one of the things he said is like, you guys really have to pump your Instagram.
Right.
So we actually do have a Dork Podcast Instagram, which I will now post to daily. I'm going to make it my mission to do something daily, whether it be a story or whatever. Nice. I have a couple ideas. Like you see, if you're watching this on YouTube, not a lot of you are. I'm thinking of doing like studio tours, like a cribs kind of thing, like walking you through like
love cribs,
like show you like my computer setup, show like what I'm running, like different guitars I have, like stuff like that. Just a little peek into the dork world. And I think
like it.
In order for us to get a bigger digital footprint, I think we're going to have to start pumping the Instagram.
That'll be good. So we're just at Dork Podcast on Instagram. You can check us out there. Speaking of, so added to the pick of the pod is look for it. I believe next week,
next Tuesday,
Goose Day, as it turns out, we were on the Mac and Goo podcast, as we are every year around this time for their movie draft, which is always a really fun episode. A good idea by those guys, and we're joined by a mystery team this year. So the mystery team is joining Mac and Goo and #Dork. So tune in for that. We already recorded it. It was a lot of fun, so you can check that out next week. Speaking of next week, we are going to do our best, and I know we're going to let down a lot of the fans. Full disclosure,
where is it? A lot of angry emails coming.
We're going to do our best to discuss Star Wars: The Clone Wars because the final season is out on Disney Plus.
Seasons 1 through 6.
I have been shotgunning the shit out of these shows, and I like them. I have been very much
butt chugging these episodes like you read about in Butt Chug Quarterly.
And then The Outsider in a couple of weeks. Ryan, have you watched any of that yet?
No, but I plan on binging the whole thing.
So you'll be ready for that in 2 weeks? Okay. And then I think there's a free play, and then we got A Quiet Place too. So that's the next month or so here on #Dork.
Yeah.
Again, you can rate, review, and subscribe. All that helps us very much on the iTunes. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Dork Podcast. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just type in youtube.com/Dork Podcast, where we actually, a couple days after they're released on iTunes, we release them on YouTube. And you can email us anytime, dorkpodcast@gmail.com. And Davey occasionally be on the old Twitch.
Yeah, so that's still a work in progress. I just need to find the time. It's been a very peek behind the curtain, people. Yeah. I am a teacher. We know that Mr. Davey teaches Latin, right?
He sure does.
What you also don't know is I teach an English class and a digital media and production class. So I'm actually in 3 different departments and have 4 preps. For all you teacher people out there, that is an insane amount of work that I've had to do this year. So I'm a little bit behind on the Twitch. I know that. And I know I keep saying it's going to come back, but there's some really good ideas. Once March break hits, we're back.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. That'll do it here on the episode. As everybody knows, I'm a fiend for mojitos.
Stay away from Red Wolf.
Oh God, he'll kick the shit out of you.
Yeah, just beat the piss out
your asshole down. All right. Well, I don't know how to stop the podcast because my mouse is broken.
I'll stop it.
You gotta get out.
Okay, bye.
I love you.
Weird.